Want to find out how this half of the month is panning out for your zodiac sign and how to get the best out of it? Come and join YILDIZ Readings 5D and we'll have a look. A very warm welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover astrology, soul coaching, twin flame path and more. I am live weekly, so please click the bell and subscribe. And if you do want more creative content like this, come and join the tribe. Now for the join button, the link is directly below on the main page. You do get exclusive Your Eyes Only content, twin flame coaching, pre-release content and the extension reads. Without further ado, let's get into the video and I'll see you every Friday. Take care guys. Hello beautiful Geminis, we're here to do your zodiac for both the astrology, the tarot and the psychic energy. So this video has all the information you're going to need for this transit and moving into the month of June. Now it is because we do have eclipses back to back, and it is because they are very much linked inside of your zodiac sign. We want to cover those energies well and truly ahead of time to have you pre-warned, forearmed. Now I'm going to briefly look at the chart and we're going to talk about some of the areas. Now number one, we do have Mercury retrograde in your zodiac sign. So at the moment, I feel you guys are going to be you're going to be up in your head quite a bit. Now, there is a lot of heavy Gemini energy, so to speak, but at the same time, what you will find spiritually is there can be some sense of confusion. Some of you, especially from the cards, you could feel a little bit run down and too much coming at you, which is perfectly normal. Now, you're probably going to have more vitality, but you will be very focused on the things that are going to be relevant to you. However, you may find that your contractual energy is a little bit funky. There can be a bit of a purge going on. You may not feel as motivated if things aren't in alignment because it is very much 7th house for this eclipse. I have been through the 1st and the 7th house axis before, through the Cancer Capricorn nodes we had a few years back in the previous transit. So I do know from a spiritual point of view, it can feel a very emotional time. You can feel that you're outgrowing things. You can feel as though sometimes the world is against you. You may feel at times that you are outgrowing and shedding skin in a diabolical format, but also really coming to some beautiful home truths and revelations about your energy inside of all your contracts. So there's a huge transformation in both your zodiac sign and that of the fellow Sagittarians. So we're going to look at your chart. We have Saturn retrograding. We have the eclipse in Sagittarius at 5 degrees. I am hosting a webinar, which I do have information towards the end of this video based on where you can find it. It's on the website basically, but it does guide you through on how to find the membership zone for the pre-release content, the extension reads and the twin flame coaching, which I do at the beginning of the month and the end of each month. I catch up with the twins inside of the room there if you wish to join. Now, let's have a look at your chart. Now, Mercury retrograde, we're going to have Sun. We're going to have the Sun in Gemini. We're going to have Venus in Gemini. And we're also having Mercury in Gemini. And people may take you out of context and you can feel very confused at this point, but you may feel a lot is coming at you. I would highly recommend eating food groups to support your nervous system so that you don't get burnt out through this transit. And with Mars linking to your 2nd house, you may have some frustrations relating to finances, but you could have been working extremely hard on that 2nd house to make those things happen. Now, this can be a very beautiful time where new energies can come towards you and people from the past. So by no means is this necessarily a bad eclipse, but it is large. It's a large and a let go. It's large in a spiritual transformation. You may have people from the past, as I mentioned, coming back in and really looking at all your contracts, and your crowning energy is saying exactly that. Some of you may not feel as passionate to do with things as you did before, but it doesn't mean to say that the love isn't there. It can just be that something's changing. Now, I do feel if you're owed money or anything to that degree and you have been seeking employment, this can be where things really pick up pace. Oh, I don't know why. I'm really, from the Scorpio moon. And, in the initial zodiac read, I did talk about the astrology going backwards. And the reason I mentioned going backwards is due to the fact that Over the last month, maybe a little bit more, from the Scorpio moon, it had been quite a purgatory time, very fatiguing. Value systems coming up, really having to work incredibly hard to get where we are right now. Being that it is a vibration 5, it is all about change. And the changes that your zodiac sign is going through is amplified because it is very first house placement. I do feel if you're closing out a cycle, you're coming to terms with it. Some of you could be reflecting upon your love life in the past. And when it does come to forward momentum, this can be cash coming back to you and growth in your career sector. I also feel you're really focusing in on, your ability to have deeper intimacy with people, but really creating that firm foundation. And during Pluto retrograde, it's sitting at 8th house. So it may be really important that during this transit, things that are coming up, especially moving into the next 3, 4, 5 months, you're really quality assuring things and transforming through the process of such. I'm also seeing from your chart, as we move into the month of June, you may really be pouring a lot of energy into your communication. It's going to be extremely busy, but you'll have the energy to do the things that you need to. So if you do feel a little bit behind, you're going to be able to catch up. Try and, really great time to clear your house. Really great time to get grounded, anchor in. As I said, we're having the webinar. But this can be a renegotiation time for all your contracts. And it's not going to be a one-sided contract, so to speak. So if it had been very one-sided in the past, I feel you're outgrowing it. It's not attractive to you. And some of you, it can merely be that you're quite run down, so you're unable to do certain things. Others of you, it can be more so that you're needing the give and take. And it's very Sagittarius in notion. It's the give and take. It's we need to see some sense of change. And it is very masculine in nature, this eclipse. So potentially for a lot of masculines, they can be going through a lot of spiritual changes. But it's also in our working life, the things that we're doing to shift things about. From an advertising point of view, this can be a very lucrative time for you inside your career sector. But we do need to be very careful about what we're saying and how we are interpreted, because we can get misunderstood at times during Mercury retrograde in Gemini. I would also say, if you need to, it's a great time to release and to journal. This can really benefit you, but you maybe all of a sudden wanting to change your hair, change your style, change the way you're relating to situations. And it's not that that's a bad thing, especially if it is going to be anything cosmetic related. I would wait till after Mercury goes direct, because you may not be as happy with the results and the recovery time can be a little bit longer. I also feel some of you, if you're running about and you're trying to do things, that for some of you, you may be finding out things relating to inheritances and legacies. It is because you have 9th house active in your chart during Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. And some of you may be needing people to help you through a process, but it's also, I'm seeing, a tribe and family related dynamic. I do feel some of you may be going on a spur at the moment trip. But just be really careful with the communication, that everybody knows what they're going to be doing. I also feel some of you may be having crosswires relating to whose role is what. So if you're working in a workplace, this can be a time of quality control. But I do feel a lot of you getting communication from long distance or making big term plans and really shifting things about. So if you feel your life isn't quite where it needs to be, I feel that you will be doing what you can within your control to shift it to a point it's more balanced. Now, next month, we're going to be having the eclipse in Gemini, which is your first house placement. I do really feel for you, give it a week either side. Try and be gentle with yourself. It's lesser on the frequency, but it is first house placement. So don't do anything rash right away. Allow it to flow through. Allow time for yourself to catch up, because you can start to get worn out. But as we do have Mars moving out of the house of Cancer, it will be moving into your 3rd house. You will have more energy to be able to achieve those things. Now, the other aspect I wanted to talk about before we get into your cards is the fact that next month on the what date is it? On June the 14th, we are having Uranus and Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius. There can be some difficulties around this time. Really pay close attention to your 12th house. I would say a guide meditation, crown chakra. Spiritually, if you've got some fears relating to being able to provide for yourself or how people are valuing you, it can be, and not necessarily is, something that somebody feels. It may be something that you're physically feeling. Healthy boundaries, people not understanding, maybe people not grasping the fact that something's affecting you. So again, do remember that Mercury will be in retrograde and maybe not everybody knows directly how you're feeling or thinking. So there can be some conflict around that, but I do feel from a monetary point of view, as long as we've sort of, got the basics at home and we've got the home in order, so to speak, you're going to find that the transit will be a lot easier. So like I mentioned, really great time to clear the house, get it as organised as possible so that as the schedule becomes a little bit more hectic, you're able to handle those things. Some of you may have unexpected visitors. And I am seeing a lot of connections in with people from the past. Now your cards, the way they're coming through, you may feel really sluggish and unmotivated. And this, I do feel this is really coming up between the two eclipses and next month as we have Uranus and Taurus squaring Saturn. Unresolved emotions may come up and you may feel slightly unmotivated. People may not be grasping what you're needing necessarily. And it's in all spheres of life. This can be with work, with love, with your it's everything Venus. You may feel that you're being picked on. But it's also not just how they feel. How do you actually feel? Really connecting in with your heart-centered energy and tuning into what you are needing. I feel some of you are directly looking at things and feeling quite unvalued. And you may be really frustrated that you pour a lot of energy into your life, into your work, into your career, and you want the same reciprocated. I do feel you're trying to be really patient to make things happen. Very Jupiter in nature, and that's another area I want to talk about. Jupiter at the moment is in the house of Pisces. Now, this is giving us a little bird's eye view into what 2022 is going to be with everything else that's going on. So as all of the other energies are playing out, it's almost like we're having an epiphany moment as to where we need to be, what we want to create, be it a dream or a delusion. And we're redirecting that trajectory. So for you, Pisces falls in your, let's have a look, in your career sector. So in your 10th house, any work you're putting in, and that's what I mean. It's like you're looking at it and you're going, look, if I'm putting it in, if I'm putting it in, yes, you kind of do. You're willing to do the work, providing it's for the dream. I do feel there could be a judgment. You may have a contract or something that you're trying to look at. You might have a very sharp mind at the moment and be a little bit critical towards situations, but it doesn't necessarily that means that it's a bad thing. I feel for some of you this is in relation to a particular situation or individual. But I do feel we've got to be careful of ego because, I'm seeing a lot of crosswires coming up this month, I'll just say. And it not necessarily, especially from the 1st and the 7th house, I've been through that transit before. A lot of times I felt that people needed things of me, and what I actually came to realise was it was the expectation I was placing on myself. I was getting frustrated and then potentially projecting towards the other. And they were like, hang on, YILDIZ, what do you mean? So not necessarily is it that these people don't want to give to you or the situations aren't going to come about and do a 360 and bless you. And I'm going to pull a post-eclipse card for you because you guys are going through it. Yeah, get grounded. This come out before. Get grounded. Yes, it might be you're starting from the bottom up, but, you've got the back to do this. You've got the backbone to do this. You've got it in the bag. You just need to keep grounded. Sometimes we can, really be frustrated due to circumstances and maybe be embodying an emotion. And I see you almost trying to push something down so that you can be okay. And I don't necessarily feel it's to make everyone around you happy. I feel it's because you feel misunderstood. I would say sacral chakra, if you want to have the frequency to be able to handle this transit, you can do a guided meditation for your solar plexus and sacral chakra. But there can be a lot of crown chakra activation. With the crown chakra, the problem will be is if the third eye is blocked, and due to the fact we've got a lot of Mercury, that's going to be all this area here. So if you find that you're getting congested or you're getting headaches and you're not concentrating as much, you can do audio recording to remind yourself of what you need to do, or jot down what you need to do. But you're going to find that the schedule isn't going to run according to plan. But there's a benefit to it in the long run. So please do trust the process. If you do want a personal booking, you can go to the link below. Stay tuned for the next messages. Otherwise, I'll see you every Friday. Now, as I mentioned, these are the must-know dates for the astrology. The full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius at 5 degrees is occurring on the 26th of May 2021. Now, there can be, again, weather patterns 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, and we do have the next solar eclipse, which is next month. The sun entered Gemini the 20th, so again, you may find that your third eye and the things you're thinking about and your values, you may really be doing a lot to bring everything together, and it can be a busy time. Mercury goes retrograde from the 29th of May. Expect confusion and a lot moving. And Mars has been in Cancer from the 23rd and it leaves June the 11th. So yes, that tension point can be relieved, but get your home in order. Try and keep grounded and things should flow. But definitely you will find during this time it can be an extremely social but independent time. Now with Venus entering Gemini, which it did from the 9th of May, you may find that you do have a lot on your plate when it does come to your finances, when it does come to your social experiences, and you may have a lot of thoughts going through your mind. You may be looking at your day-to-day routine and what is going on in the forward movement of that. You also may feel fiercely independent and not want to be held down. This too shall pass, it's temporary. But this can be times when, with both Mercury moving into retrograde and Venus entering Gemini, well, which it was from the 9th, we will have communication from the past. Now, I'm also seeing with Saturn and Aquarius retrograding from the 23rd of May all the way through till October the 11th, you may be looking at circumstances surrounding group activities, but also social responsibilities. Now, next month we do have the solar eclipse in Gemini on the 10th of June, so do be prepared for that, as well as it is the North Node, so it will be amplified. We also have Saturn in Aquarius, as I mentioned, squaring Uranus and Taurus, which is occurring on the 14th, so pre-warned, forearmed. Now, if you want to join us for the webinar, the video up next shows you two things. It shows you where you can book private readings, how to get onto the website, and also how to join the Members Hub. So stay tuned for the update. Thanks for joining us here at YILDIZ Readings 5D. If you do want a personal booking, you can go to the link below. A lot of people ask me how to join the members area, so there is an information video up next after this. Yes, astrology updates, twin flame path, super chats every Friday. So please click the bell and subscribe. We cap them at $11 because the first tier level for the members for twin flame coaching is $11. So those of you who want to join the Members Hub, here is a small video relating to it. Now in this video, it's going to show you basically where you can locate it. You can find it in the information box, and any video that is uploaded to YouTube, it's on the join section. On the main page, you can find it. When you go to the membership zone and you purchase the first tier level, you get the twin flame videos. Now, they are still up there. You find them under the community tab, and that's for the pre-extended videos, and the extension reads members only. Now for the website, this is how the website looks on the main page, and should you need to go to it, you can press the link that does take you to the booking page. We have webinars, we have Skype, videos and more. If you do want any of these, you have the information. I will see you during the month. Take very good care of yourselves, and I trust you like the content.